Can't even talk. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Fighting's Final. You're on the Inside Sports Network, which your boy Matty B on the call. And do I even have to come on here anymore? Can I just take a break, take a pass? Sure as hell the baseball team is. Phillies lose tonight 11-2. The only two runs they managed were via the home run, right? First inning, I think it was, and then the ninth inning. Luzardo did not look good. He got roughed up a bit. He got roughed up a lot of bit. We got more errors. Another error tonight. You got the Chicago Cubs double stealing, playing aggressive baseball, laying out for balls. You got Rob Thompson being Rob Thompson with absolutely no answers to stop any of this. And we're going to have the same old thing. And I'm sure the postgame, if anybody even wants to look at it anymore, I'm sure the postgame is going to be, I like our ball club. We're just struggling and we're pressing. Another home series lost. I believe they said it all over the telecast. Now it's their third of the year. They lost a total of three of all of last year at home. Now we get the Braves coming in, and this is where it really starts to get a little bit hairy because now we're going to be talking about NFC East NFC East or NL East, NL East teams. There's nothing really for me to even look at this game, and I don't even know what to say. It's wash and repeat. It's Groundhog Day. It's what it is, but we're going to continuously hurt out this team. We're going to continuously hurt out this manager, and we're going to have to sit here for the next 5 months and accept this. And it's unacceptable. Every facet of this baseball team stinks. And right now, obviously, I'm still zeroed in on the offense. I get it. Luzardo has been not pitching well. Tonight was a complete and utter disgrace. And they were either he was tipping pitches or they were stealing signs. Somewhere along the line, the Cubs knew what he was going to throw. 100%. You're not going to talk me off that ledge. I firmly believe that. They were all over everything he pitched like they knew he was going to throw it. So something was going on like last year when he was tipping pitches. Maybe he's back to doing that again, or they were stealing signs or something. But the Cubs were all over Luzardo. But, of course, the Phillies offense, you could probably hold up a flashcard in front of a Phillies batter and say, hey, I'm throwing you the fastball up and in. And they would still not be able to handle it because they still would not be able to hit it, even if they knew what was coming. All of this is equated to an 11-2 loss, another dreadful loss, another error. If you're keeping track at home, folks, the Phillies have now committed through 18 games in 2026, 15 errors through 18 games. To put it in some perspective, through the first 81 games of last year, the Phillies committed 31 errors or 30 errors. So we have now reached the halfway point, less than 20 games in to this season. That's unacceptable because this wasn't a problem to this degree ever. It wasn't like this defensively ever for this team. And you want to sit here and you're going to, and I get it. If they told me tomorrow that this entire team was gone, to include the manager and the president and the owner, I wouldn't shed a tear for them. But what in the hell were they doing in Clearwater for about 6 weeks? That's what I really kind of would like to know. How do you come out of spring training where all it was baseball for 45 days, and you come up to start your season and you commit 15 errors through the first 18 games? Not to mention the pass balls, not to mention the wild throws or wild pitches, not to mention JT Realmuto. Apparently, I guess the one thing that what was Al's biggest thing with JT was that he was a great defensive catcher. I haven't seen that this year. This sucks. It sucks. And yeah, fire Rob Thompson, watch day 6, whatever. I mean, you got a day off tomorrow. Maybe you do something here. Something's got to change, man. And I know, I know, I'm asking for a lot. But am I though? Am I really asking for a lot to fire this manager? Just can't fire the team. This approach is not working anymore. These players are not responding to anything. They don't seem any sort of sense of urgency about this. I think they really believe in that clubhouse. It's early. We'll be fine. And this is what we're getting in turn. Welcome back to the Fight and Smile. Phillies lose today 11-2. Drop the series 2-3 to the Cubs. Off day tomorrow. And we'll get back at this on Friday against the Atlanta Braves. Just a flat-out pathetic performance from a woefully unmotivated bunch. Yeah. Absolutely. A lot of people want to fire the manager, but after that game, I want to fire the whole team into the friggin' sun. Yeah, listen, Elephant, and I think a lot of this might have gotten lost too. I am not in no way, shape, or form doing handsprings about the team, but realistically, I can't fire 26 people. I just can't. Not to say that, I'm not saying that I wouldn't try to maybe find a way to do it, but you just can't do that. This has got a lot of 2022 vibes. If you remember 2022 in the beginning of the season, but it was different because there was no expectations on this team, but they still played like this, similar type of baseball with the type of payroll they had, type of players they had. And it got to the point, and I've noticed through Rob Thompson's little pressers that, I don't know why I'm watching them, but I have seen a few of them. He's getting real smug about his answers, right? He's getting real smug about the problems. Oh yeah, you've been swinging a hot bat. He's getting real smug about these types of responses he's given the soft ass Philadelphia sports media, which again they should all be fired too for the type of questions they're asking him. But he's getting real smug, a lot like Girardi did towards the end. When Girardi did, what did Girardi say? He was going to stop issuing out the injured list or the roster, the lineup or something. He wouldn't make that public to the media or something like that. I forget what all that was. But he's getting that smugness about him that you get when you're a dead man walking, And I'm getting a lot of 2022 vibes. And I don't even know where to start, man. I don't know where to start. If it was just the one problem now, if it was just the offense, but now it's the defense, it's the pitching, it's everything on this baseball team. And Otto Kemp is playing left field again. And Otto Kemp returns to left field. Thank God that wasn't a problem tonight. That would have been just the icing on, or the cherry on the top of all this. And not doing well at all. Time for a change. Something needs to shake this team up. Yeah. And you can't fire 26 players. Maybe moving Kyle Schwarber to the cleanup spot. Would that be it? Is that the shakeup we all want? Embarrassing. 100%. Fire Rob. Pathetic. And Rob mess up the rotation. Well, yeah, I heard something about that. Are they going to go with Painter on Friday because of the day off tomorrow and then split him and Taiwan up or something like that? I don't know. Again, even with Luzardo's terrible, it was terrible. Absolutely terrible. I'm trying to find ways. But, here's the thing. As that third inning kind of got away from the Phillies, and that's where it kind of shifted. What did it shift on? What was the play or plays that shifted that third inning? It was a terrible throw down on an attempted steal by JT Realmuto that went into the outfield, nicely backed up by Trey Turner. But then the ball popped out of his glove. So there's an error there, potentially two errors on that same play, right? That's fundamental baseball. Once again, that other teams are doing against us, like double steals and bunts and all that other kind of stuff that we don't know how to react to. And it's our poor defense. Have I mentioned 15 errors through 18 games? 15 errors through 18 games. They're hovering around one error a game average. But, those things matter in a game. Those things matter. If you cannot make a play in the field, if you give up what they call it, extra outs, you never give a team extra outs, and they did. And in this case, they gave them an extra run. But that's kind of where the whole snowball began to fall, right? It was when that happened. You could have gotten out of that inning potentially. What, 1-1? Or 2-1? Whatever it would have been. Now, this would require the Phillies offense to do something except for score one run in the first, and then was it one in the first, one in the ninth? Is that how it went down? Absolutely. They bookend their scoring today. One run in the first and one run in the ninth via the home run. Both runs. Phillies have hit 20 home runs as a team in 2026. That is the only thing they're doing above average. And again, that tells the story that we already knew the ending to. There's no change in this team. And there was nothing done in the spring. This whole, I'm going to walk more. I'm going to do this more. I'm going to have better at bats. The Phillies have had some of the worst at bats I've seen a Major League Baseball team, attempt over the first 18 games of the season. But what was going on in Clearwater? That's what I want to know. What in the hell were they doing for 45 days? They obviously weren't working on defense, and they obviously really weren't working on their plate approach. 500 team, I said it open day. I disagree. I still think they're going to win. They'll win games. But that's 500, 10 games over 500, 100 wins, 90 wins. That's immaterial. You got to be the Pittsburgh Pirates, the Colorado Rockies, and I don't mean any disrespect to those teams, to not make the playoffs in 2026. It's a goddamn open field, right? They are a playoff team. And maybe that's what it takes to get into the playoffs this year is a 500 record. We don't know. We'll see. But they're a playoff team. They are 100% still a playoff team in my mind. But that's it. That's not what I want. That's not what we want. And if they didn't make the playoffs, I'm not going to make it through the season. I'm telling you right now. I'm already up to 10 of these shows this year. I'm 5-5 as your host of the Fightins Final. At this rate, I ain't gonna make it. You scraping me up off the floor, man. I worked a day job today. I did a varsity baseball game tonight, and I run home and I watch this. Hey. Team meeting, change the lineup, poke this dying team with the stick, do something for the love of God. Yep. Yeah. Team meeting, my ass. Yeah, you need a team meeting when you have leadership, right? And that's another call to question again. Who's the actual leader of this team? I don't know, Al, but you're right. Something has to give, man. Something. And Alec Boehm going out of the 4-hole to the 8-hole, or Bryson Stott in the 5-hole, whatever. That's not the change we need. We need an actual sweeping. We need a change. We need a new voice, a new direction, a new breath of fresh air, something. Because this is not acceptable. Not acceptable. Team's just too old to run it over. I disagree. But okay, what's the run though? And again, what was the run? I didn't win anything. You talking about the playoff run? I disagree, man. I disagree. It's like 6 teams make the playoffs, right? 3 wild cards, division winner. I didn't watch the game. You saved yourself a little heartache. Who cares, Star Wars? Star Wars, you're talking to me. I could give a rat's ass less about what the Philadelphia 76ers are doing. I got my own problems in life. So, but yeah, yes, they are playing in the play-in round. Whoopity-doo. All right. Let's go to this thing. We're gonna check the box score out. Phillies on the night, the Cubs, 11 runs on 15 hits, no errors. Phillies 2 runs on 5 hits. and an error. They're 15th in 18 games. Offensive standouts when a team hits for five hits, I'm not even giving one. I don't care. Trey Turner, yeah, whatever. Great. You started the game off with a home run. That's awesome, Trey. You're the man, right? That's it. That was it. Everybody else went for a painful 0-4, except for Harper when he hits that home run in the ninth. And that's not a clutch moment, by the way. It's not. And I was a little upset by his little home run trot there, with the hands in the sky. And I get it. You waved to the bullpen, what have you. But coming around third base, dude, just run to the dugout, man. You're down 11-2. All right. That told me a lot of that showed me a lot about Harper, too. He doesn't obviously give a damn about the team. He gives a damn about himself. Garcia did have a decent night, 2 for 4, but that's it. I mean, that's it. Everyone else, I can't even look at this crap, man. This is just terrible. It's terrible. And how are we allowing this to happen? For the Cubs, well, it's a whole different story. Nico Warmer, 3 for 5, 2 runs, 5 RBIs, a home run. Bregman was 1 for 4. Suzuki 2 for 4. Swanson, a multiple home run game, 3 for 5. Amaya was 1 for 5. PCA, 2 for 4, and with a web gem to boot. And Matt Shaw, 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Jesus. Luzardo lasted 5 and a third, very painful innings. 12 hits, 9 runs, 8 of them earned, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts, a homer. 98 pitches in that time. Kyle Backus comes in for an inning and a half, gets touched up, 3 hits for a run, and three strikeouts. Alvarado pitched an inning, and then Dylan Moore, baby. That's it. Dylan Moore, our 6th starter, gets an inning's worth of work, gives up a run. It was earned. He walked 1. His ERA is 5.40. He's got a better ERA than Luzardo does. Igmaga was with the win. I believe he set a record, a career best in strikeouts. He went 6 solid, 3 hits, 1 run. It was earned. Walked 1, struck out 11. Brown and Little came in to mop it all up for the Cubs. Scoring summary, Turner would get things going, and the Phillies were feeling good for about 2 seconds as he made it 1-0 in the first on the solo shot. Then Nico Homer would knock in Shaw to make it 1-1, and then he would do it again in the third as they batted around and knocked in. Was when he scored on the throwing error to make it 2-1. Then Bergman would follow that up on a wild pitch to make it 3-1. That's correct. Yeah, so it was the throwing error by JT. They should have given a double error on that play. Shouldn't have Trey have gotten an error as well? Should have been 2 errors on that play. But Bregman then on the wild pitch, I think it wasn't like literally the next pitch. Then he homers to make it 5-1 in the 5th. Shaw would double in Swanson to make it 7 in the 6th. PCA would knock it. Nico Horner would score 9-1, and then Swanson another homer and 10-1. Swanson would knock in Suzuki 11-1, and then Harper would homer in the bottom of the ninth, making 11-2. 11-2. Phillies were 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position. They left 4 on base. The Cubs were 5 for 10 with runners in scoring position. They left 5 on base for the game, and that's how you get a dreadful 11-2 Phillies loss, and they dropped the series to the Cubs. And now it's time to deal with the off day. I guess maybe if you can look at the off day in somewhat of a silver lining type thing, you have the perfect opportunity now. You want to make a move, right? You got that opportunity now. Call Rob into his office, or maybe John calls Rob and Dave into his office and says, "Gentlemen, thank you for everything you did, but you have misspent my money. And you have mismanaged my money. So your services are no longer required. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. Maybe I'll get my dream. Give me Don Mattingly and Preston Mattingly on the phone right now. Don, you're the interim manager. Preston, you're my new interim president of baseball operations. I'm turning it over to the Mattingly family. Save my investment, please, because we are in dire straits. We're in dire straits. One can dream and wish. Is Topper? If Topper's still managed by Friday, I'm going to have a damn heart attack. I just mentioned that. You know, they have a chance. I think we can explore that a little bit. It's 18 games, right? No, it's not 18 games. It's 518 games. We are riding down the same streets, the same roads, the same houses that we've been riding down for 4 years now. Nothing has changed about this team. Nothing has changed about how this team is managed. Nothing has changed about how this team doesn't seem to understand what the word consistent is. Nothing's changed through 18 games of this season. Then there was 162 games of last season, 162 games of the season before that. Nothing has changed in that realm. So is it really just 18 games? Or is it more than that? Should I, and I talked about this in the final word last night, should I throw out the traditional April wish list for the Phillies by just being a 500 or slightly better team and healthy? Because this is different. This is not like we have a new manager, brand new first-year guy, whatever. Half the team is new. They're trying to gel together. No, there's really no excuse for this. And the flimsy ass, it's early, which I'm hearing like all the time now, is just a pipe dream. That's just a coping mechanism for people, I think, at this point. I think they're using that to soften the blow of reality. And I hate to do this, but I have to, and I'm not mad at him, but I got to do it because I'm just mad and frustrated. So, brand new, opening tomorrow on aisle 17 of Big Al's Excuse Emporium, the Northeast Philadelphia location, will be, it's early. Don't worry about it. It's only April. That's right, folks. If you are just having too hard of a time coping with the fact that Rob Thompson, Dave Dombrowski, and the rest of the Fightins are just not good, you don't have to. Because here at Big Al's Excuse Emporium, new for you tomorrow on aisle 17 is it's early, it's April, it'll be okay. Come get them while you can. Limited supply available. Again, aisle 17. It's early. Don't worry about it. It'll be fine. On shelves tomorrow. Limited supplies available. Bring the kids and mention my name, Matty B, at checkout to receive 10% off of your final purchase. Again, I'm not doing that because I'm pissed at Al. I'm doing that because I'm pissed at the situation. That's Big Al's Excuse Emporium tomorrow. It's early. Don't worry about it. It's only April. Oh, man. There will be a fine being a 500 team. Can we spend all, that would be funny. Send Harper down. But we spread him out around the 5 levels, right? Harper goes to Lehigh Valley. Schwarber goes down to Jersey Shore. Bohm heads down to Clearwater. We got to spread them out. We got to send somebody to DSL. Obviously probably send our Latin players there because they could easily assimilate to the lifestyle. I don't know. I wouldn't be against it. I would not be against it. I don't know how many of those players would have. And actually, I think if you look at Harper, man, I think he's got all but one of his options left because he got called up when he was 19 and never went back down. So he's got all of his minor league options left. The only time he's been to the minor leagues has been on a rehab assignment. So yeah, you could probably move Harper down without having to send him through waivers. I think you could. Maybe we should look at that. He knows his days are limited. Again, are you not? am I the only one who's not picking up on this? He's getting really smug. I mean, more smug than he usually is at these press conferences, right? Like, shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. I know how to run a baseball team. This is just April. It's early. Don't you get that vibe as he's just getting like really smug about his answers? And again, if this was a real Philadelphia sports media, still that was in charge, Rob would be on the floor crying because they would be hitting him with questions that would be coming all over the place. And he wouldn't know what he's doing. He would not be able to handle himself. But I do think he knows his days are numbered. I honestly believe he is getting ready. Booking that AR&B up there up in Moosehead Lake in Ontario, for this summer when the lake trout start running. I'm telling you, man. I think he is, man. I think he is getting that. I think he's starting to feel it. Thank God for the Flyers right now. Yeah. Rob put Painter on Sunday. Yeah, he's breaking up. Walker and Painter, right? He's pitching Saturday. Are we going with a bullpen game? Is Nola pitching Saturday? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Who the hell's pitching Saturday? Let me take a look. I got the schedule up here. It's bad when the Sixers are more fun to watch. Ain't that bad. It's the whole team. It is. There's no saving grace right now on this team. To me, if somebody called me up tonight and said, hey, let's seriously talk about them all, right? What are you prepared to take for Bryce Harper? What are you prepared to take for Kyle Schwarber? What are you prepared to take for JT? So on and so forth. I think you entertain every single one of them damn offers. So, you know what? I think we can make some stuff happen. But then, of course, would that be Dave Dombrowski doing that? Or that would be the new president? I mean, who do you trust on making that deal? I hate to say it, but they aren't making the playoffs. Again, I disagree with you. They are going to make the playoffs unless the wheels can come completely off. And again, I don't know if you remember 2022. I know I was feeling the same way. It wasn't April, though. I think I was feeling that way in late March or late May. Late March. I don't remember. I know it was bad. It was 7 games under 500, Memorial Day-ish. I know the Giants were coming in. Actually, the Giants were the last series that Joe Girardi was the manager, and they lost. Either they got swept or they lost 2 out of 3. Then they hired Thompson and they won like 7 in a row, and got back to 500. And then from there, it was just what it was in 22. So, there's still a lot of baseball left to go in this season, and they will win, and they will win games, and they will string some wins together. But that's not what it's not even about that anymore, man. It's not about them making the playoffs or not. It's about the fact that they are no closer today to winning a World Series than they were coming off the field in Houston in October of 22. They're no closer to that. And that's what's, that's ultimately what sucks. I may need hazard pay. Let's go big then. John Middleton, sell the team. Maybe they'll turn things around. Yeah, and where is that? John Middleton. Where's the venom here? Right? He ain't saying anything these days, but rightfully so. I know the owners don't get involved, but we've and I know I've discussed it in nauseum about the way the team was built, right? Yeah, and John's not a baseball guy. He's not. He's a money guy, right? All he cares about is that bottom line. And right now, the bottom line is they put people in the seats, except in the 7th inning tonight. But God, I guess was it one of those games you could run down from the 400 level and get those field level seats in the 7th inning. But the money's been misinvested up to this point. And Dombrowski, again, I rightfully so, he's not going to talk during the season, and he shouldn't, unless, of course, they end up firing Rob Thompson. But, I've heard these end-of-season press conferences since 2022, and they're the same press conference since 22. I like our team. We're open to making change. We're going to change things. I'm open to putting Kyle Schwarber in the cleanup spot. I almost said leadoff spot, in the cleanup spot. We are going to look at everything and address these needs and make this ball club better. We've been hearing that since 2022. And we've been lied to every year since 2022. And what was Rob Thompson? I'll never forget this. This tells me everything I need to know about Rob Thompson. This was in the offseason when people were like, so you're running it back, right? No, we're not running it back. We've changed 25% of our roster. This guy is so involved in analytics, he knew the number of what the change was from the roster. 25% is what we changed. Now, listen, I mean, if my life currently was to undergo a 25% change, I don't know how much different things would be for me. Now, if I went, 75% change, yeah, that's life altering. But what's 25% change is what? What is that? What is that? I don't know, man. It's very frustrating. Dude, the last few years, Phillies were considered a top 3 team in baseball. That was the run. So being considered the top 3 team in baseball is a run? Listen, I get what you're saying, man. I know what you're saying. Bottom line, I hear what you mean. The run. Now, I equate runs, division championships, postseason berths, World Series championships, or World Series appearances. Yes, and this is a run. I'll give you that. But I don't think it's over. I'm not going to sit here in April and tell you it's over. I mean, you might be right. I don't know. But I got a whole baseball season to try to hold it together for. And in this day and age, unless you have a dreadful team, I mean, Pittsburgh Pirate bad, Chicago White Sox bad, when that calendar turns to September, you're probably going to be in it or in a position to be in it. We have just started up this mountain, but it's not about the damn playoffs. It's not about the win totals. I don't care. Maybe 81 wins is what gets you into the freaking playoffs this year. Maybe 78 wins is what gets you in, or 79. Or 104. I don't care about any of that. It's about winning a World Series, and that is the prize that will continue to elude us in 2026. So, and the run, under your contexts of the run, top 3 team in baseball, I don't know anybody that ever considered the Phillies a top 3 team in baseball. Even during the height of that, there was nobody that I knew. Top 5, yeah. Top 3, no. Again, I'm not sitting here. I'm not disagreeing with you. But I'm also going to look at this thing a little bit more through, I guess, realistic eyes. You got 143 games left to go, or 142 games, 141 games. I mean, in reality, the Phillies could go 153-19 or whatever. In reality, they could do that. So I'm not going to sit here and throw dirt over their coffin in April when you still have the opportunity to do something about it. But time's a wasting. Horrible loss. Yeah, it was. Flyers are on at 1 on Saturday. They released the schedule. I got to check that. John needs to clean house. Hey, start with himself. John needs to clean house starting with him. JFC, the Sixers are a better watch. But I guess I'm missing out in life, man. Because you couldn't get, I would rather shave my head with a cheese grater while chewing on tinfoil than watch 76er basketball. And I mean that. I don't know. Dave's getting a lot of hate. He went after the best players in the market in an effort to win now. Yeah, listen, and there's something to that. I'm still all in on the Trey Turner move. I still think Trey Turner is a good player, right? And nobody was saying a damn thing. Well, actually, he wasn't involved. So what? He's got He doesn't have Harper, right? That's not a Harper. Harper was Clentac, right? So was Realmuto, actually, correct, right? I mean, even though wasn't it Dave that re-signed him? But JT was brought here through Clentac, right? So you got basically Castellanos, you got Turner, Luzardo, Wheeler, Walker. You got players like that are or Dombrowski's. You got Kepler, Merrifield, Garcia. They're all Dave, right? And Schwarber and Castellanos, they're Dave too. Again, you're right. I'm not sitting here, and that's sort of to my point where these players are still really good baseball players. They really are. They're just either to a point here where they can basically tell the manager what they're going to do. They're not being put in the right positions to maximize their abilities. They're allowed to do whatever they want to do without any repercussions. You know what I'm saying? This is not like we're struggling with a bunch of scrubs. We're struggling with a lot of good players. But what is being done about fixing it? You know, what is Rob Thompson doing to try to fix that? That's what I think a lot of people are more frustrated about. But I agree with you. This team will never be able to play small ball baseball consistently. And that means they'll never be able to win a World Series. And I've resigned myself. We've been waiting to see it. You know, everyone's like, well, they can do it, and they will do it. They can play small ball. No, they can't. Newsflash for everybody, they cannot do it. They do not know how to play small ball. They lack the ability. They lack the know-how. They lack the confidence. They lack the ego, the pride issue. Kyle Schwarber's never laying a bunt down. Bryce Harper's not laying a bunt down. None of these guys will ever do any of that kind of stuff, right? They're swinging for fences, and that's what they do. The problem, and that's something that we have to come to grips with. Now, the problem is, how do you offset that? Is you bring up young players who don't have ego and don't have pride and tell them, hey, you're going to lay a bunt down here. Okay. Right. And the Phillies haven't done enough of that. They brought one position player in from the lineup that's an everyday guy who's new, right, from the minors. So either you got to find a way to literally home run your way to a World Series, which has never been done, and we've witnessed how frustrating it can be firsthand, and say, okay, that's what we're going to do. Because, again, the Phillies have hit 20 home runs so far this year. That's the one thing they're excelling at in 2026 is power. 20 home runs. That's what? Well over one a game they're averaging. Right? So either they got to find a way to say, we're going to hit home run, try to hit home runs and win like we've been doing, or we're going to bring up about 4 or 5 other minor league players and fill them into the lineup and say, all you do is bunt and hit sacrifice flies to try to offset that. Or you bring in a new manager that tells Kyle Schwarber, I don't care how much you're getting paid, you're going to bunt. You know, we're not going to talk about bunting. First and foremost, you're batting fourth. Okay? Get a tattoo. Tattoo it on your forehead. Look, I'm batting fourth. That's what you need to get tattooed on your forehead, because that's the first step in the healing process, is sliding his fat ass down to the 4-hole. That's the first step in this healing process. Then I guess we can talk about bunting later. Say what you want about being a long season, but when the fuck have we given up doubles? Well, they said it was in 2024, the last time they did that. And again, you're right, Steve. There's too many signs of, like, there's just too many signs. Again, and I don't even look at it in the aspects of the start of a new season. This is just the continuation of a really long season that's been going on since 23. Okay? Because we've changed so little in that time with both philosophy and players that it really is the same season. It's been the same season since 23. It's been one long season. And this is just another part of that season. So all that, this is a new season or brand new, it's early. That doesn't hold any water with me at all. Not a thing. While I'm on your side, you still take shots. No, I said, did you not hear what I said? It wasn't in context at you. but I had to use the context of the House of the Excuse Emporium. It wasn't about you. But that was the only vessel that I had to portray that point. I said it before I did it. I'm not mad at you, but I'm using this as a vessel. Okay, settle down, big boy. All right. But I throw in the towel after Braves sweep us. Who says I haven't thrown in the towel yet? I'm not. Listen, I don't know if you've been hearing me. It's about World Series for me, right? All this talk about wins and playoffs, it's all immaterial. It's about winning a World Series for me. Who says I haven't thrown in the towel already? But I can't. There's way too much baseball left, man. And I can't resign myself. It's not 2017. God, I hope it ain't. Hope it's ain't over by June. Have I thrown it? Will I throw in the towel if the Braves sweep us? I will not throw in the towel if the Braves sweep us, but I will personally drive down to one NovaCare Way or one Citizen Bank Park Drive, whatever the hell it is on, and I will wait for Rob Thompson to exit the facility and get him the hell out of town. All right. If they get swept by the Braves. The more immediate question is, with a day off, do they make a move? Do the Phillies fire Rob Thompson on the day off? That's my question. I want to know that answer. Everyone and everything has an expiration date. Rob Thompson has his coming soon. Some will say that expiration date occurred in October of 2023. Some like me will say that. I was done with him then. When he herds out Jake Cave with our season on the line for the last out in Game 7 of the NLCS. Game 7 of the NLCS. And you're going to herd out Jake Cave as your last option. I would have had more respect for Rob Thompson if Rob Thompson would have grabbed the bat himself and went up to the plate and hit. All right? I would have had a lot more respect for him there. But his expiration date for all I'm worth was years ago. Topper has insight. This team is washed and it's over. Topper has insight? Oh, so you're saying Topper has the insight that this team is washed? No, I don't think Topper has insight for anything. Sanchez is pitching Saturday. Okay. Time for a coaching change. Does Dumbo fire Rob to save his job? And I think it's interesting now. You got a day off tomorrow. This would be the perfect time to do it. You're home. It's not like you hit the road. Everyone's in Philadelphia. Everyone's staying there. You can make the move right now. Maybe that conversation's happening right now. For all we know, it's going on right now. And as far as Dave Dombrowski's job goes, I don't think Dave cares about that. I think Dave's got ready to go back down to Nashville and start up that whole venture of getting that franchise down there. I don't know. I don't know if Dave feels any pressure at all, honestly. I don't really think Dave cares, I mean, put yourself in Dave Dombrowski's shoes. Hey, I tried, thought I was making some good moves, thought we could do it. Oh, well, I'm 80. I'll move on to my next opportunity. I don't really think Dave cares. One position player changed. It was more than one, right? What about Justin Crawford? Justin Crawford's a position player that changed. So that's 2. 25% of change of a minute of a team means, yeah, absolutely. But Rob Thompson was boasting about that right before spring training started. I don't know if you guys remember that. What are you talking about? We're not running it back. We've changed 25% of the roster. I said earlier in the year, the Phillies organization may be taking a pass on this year. Now it's starting to look like it. But that doesn't make any sense to me. Why would they be taking a pass on an aging pitching staff, an aging core of players? I don't know why you'd be taking a pass on that. 1-year deals on used to be guys with potential. Yeah. Sixers like that they're winning tonight. Well, that's good for the Sixers. For all you out there who care, and I don't, it looks like the Sixers might be going. So if they win tonight, are they on into the playoffs, or how's that work? Are they like the 7th seed? I mean, I know that's what 7 versus 10, 8, 9, and then the winner of the 7-10 is automatically in, and then the loser of 7-10 plays the loser of 8-9 or winner of 8-9. Is that how that goes? Because then the loser of 8-9 is out, and the winner plays the loser of 7-10. Is that how that works? Do I got that right? That's freaking confusing as hell. The Phillies team is a shambles. I've been saying this. Yeah, it is, Papernick. Robbie's expiration date was 4 years ago. I said it. I've said that too. Phillies lose 2 or 3 of the Cubs. They keep finding ways to get worse. 15 errors through 18 games. 15 errors through 18 games. No one's going to be able to talk me into that being something's positive. And then that's not early season stuff. That's unprepared. That's not being coached. That's not being held accountable. That's not any of that stuff. That's just going out there. It's okay, Skipper. You'll be fine. Go get him. Go get him tomorrow, champ. You'll be all right. That's what that is, man. That's no fear of God right there. I'll do what I want. This guy ain't gonna do crap to me. Yeah, I'll boot balls. And what about JT, man? What's happened to his defensive game? That thing's gone to hell. He's actually better offensively than he is defensively this year. Never thought I'd say that. The Mets series in 2024 was the time when I said it's dude's asking to get fired. Yeah. I thought it was 1 year too late. I think Robbie's matters worse than Nick Leyva, who at least knew baseball and no analytics. What about the Trump block? Hiring the buffoon Robbie was more ever than general manager or president. They are playing the Celtics, gonna get smoked. So does it work like that? So there, I take it they're the 7th seed, and if they win the game against the 10th seed, they're in the playoffs, and then that loser plays the winner of 8-9. Or is it reversed? Is it 8-9 and that guy plays the 7-10? Do I got the gist of it, of how that works? Robbie's come out and said he will move around. Robbie's come out and said he will not move around any of the top 3 hitters in the lineup after saying in the offseason they would flip flop Harper and Schwarber just fires fan. It's ass. And did he really say that? I will watch his post game. Listen, I'm supposed to be doing a post game here. This is a damn funeral. All right, let's go bottom line. Let's go Broad Street bottom line. Do I really have to do that? But let's do Broad Street bottom line. All right, plain and simple. The Broad Street bottom line is it's not early. It's not, it's not that big of a deal. It is that big of a deal, and it is not early. We have reached a point in this season, 18 games in, that a change needs to happen at some point high up inside the ecosystem of the Philadelphia Phillies. A benching, that to me is a sacrificial lamb there, but someone needs to lose their job. Someone does. And I think I think that every day that nothing does happen and they continue to herd out this brand of baseball, because it's not about wins and losses, right? It isn't. In 162 games, you're going to win some, you're going to lose some, but it's the way they're losing. It's the complete. It looks like they have no idea. Like none of them ever played baseball before in their lives. That's what this looks like to me. They're so uninformed. They're so unmotivated. They're so uninterested in being where they are. So something needs to give there. And you can't fire the 26 that are on the field. You cannot. I wish it was that easy. So you're going to have to go after the head of the snake, and that's Rob Thompson. And yes, for all you, it's the players who at the end of the day are the ones that have to perform. Absolutely. But it's the manager that holds the players accountable for when they don't perform. And that's not happening. That is a key point to this equation that's just not happening. Now, there's multiple ways you hold players accountable. multiple ways. There's creative ways that managers have done it throughout the history of the game. And I don't think this guy's doing any of that. This guy's having maybe, let's sit down and talk about it sessions in his office. What if he's a Democrat? All right, that's what this guy's doing. That's what this guy is doing. He's not holding anybody accountable. He's not putting fear into anybody about losing playing time or, more importantly, losing money. Right? That has to change. And if it doesn't change, the outcome on the field will never really change either. Right? What do we say? This is not us being, listen, we're very intelligent baseball fans in this town, and we are as a collective group. But when 98% of us said the other night after they beat Chicago, what was it, 13-2, whenever they scored those, was it 11, 12, 13 runs? What do we all say? Now they're going to score 5 runs over the course of the next 6 games. All right. We're not that smart. We're not that smart to be able to say that unless we have the insider knowledge, right? We're not that smart unless we already know that this is what this is. And that's the scary part of this, is that everything is scripted right now. All these losses are scripted. All the way this team is losing is scripted. We can look, I can pull up numbers on this computer right in front of me, and I can tell you how the month of May is going to go. Probably to about a 95% degree of accuracy based on the other months of May that we've had. All right? I can tell you how the trends are. You out there can say the same thing because you've seen enough of this team to know nothing has changed, win or lose. They're winning the same way. They're losing the same way. Nothing has changed. We've stopped swimming as a team. And when you stop swimming, you die. That's why a change has to happen at the top point where the change is supposed to be the biggest part of it. The manager must be fired. And it must happen today. And I really hope that calmer heads prevail and that somebody sits down and I don't know, maybe John Middleton's not aware of this. Maybe John doesn't watch the team. Maybe John, this is all new to him. Like, oh my God, how they score 13 runs and they don't score they scored 5 runs over the next 8 games. What the hell? Maybe John just doesn't know. Maybe somebody needs to inform him. This is how it is, right? They're going to hit home runs, but that's it. Maybe John just doesn't know. Dombrowski knows. They got to fire the manager, and they got to do it now. And that's the Broad Street bottom line. It's time for Rob Thompson to go before it does become too late. Before it is to a point where we're 30 games under 500 and struggling to make the playoffs. Oh yeah, I lost all this. Horrible loss. Man, I'm way behind. Good God, you guys are, geez Louise. Take my eye off this for one time and you guys completely take me over here. Robbie's been coming. Okay, here we go. The Broad Street train is a mess. Have you been on it lately? No, I have not. I've listen, I just heard a story tonight that what's his name was mugged. One of the umpires was mugged down on Rittenhouse Square. Baloo was mugged down on Rittenhouse Square right before the start of the Phillies Diamondbacks series last weekend. And he ran the guy down. The guy stole his phone. He ran him down and he beat him up to get his phone back. I just heard that. Ooh, that's what I'm talking about, man. Baseball. Catch it. Holy crap, man. Really? Really? Woo. You got umpires getting mugged on Rittenhouse Square? Oh, my God. Alfred won Crawford down. Nah, he doesn't. Manager sets the velocity. Crawford's next Pete Rose, Tony Gwynn, haven't you heard? I think he is. I think Crawford's going to be an all-star. I honestly do. My Broad Street bottom line is fire Robbie ASAP and bump Mattingly and bring in Dusty Baker, who is no-nonsense manager. Robbie is a Democrat because he's Canadian. Really, but like, what are the sessions are? Could you ever imagine Rob Thompson getting mad? Can anybody find videotape of Rob Thompson? Does he ever go off? Like, is there ever like that moment in the Moneyball, the Gatorade cooler moment where he goes in with a baseball bat and just starts bashing up the clubhouse? Can you even see that happening? Or if it did, would they just sit there and start laughing at him because it would be like completely hilarious? Crawford needs to play small ball, and he is. Yeah, he is, but no one else is doing it. The definition of crazy is is Robbie thinking every move or non-move he makes is normal. All right, so that's my Broad Street bottom line, and that was brought to you by the good folks here at the It's a Wrap Sports Network. And this is your schedule for the rest of the week. Tomorrow is a late night, just me coming at you with the Fightins final. I'll be back with the final word. Just 2 episodes this week, as again, we're underneath a lot of stuff here, but with both post games now having to go through Flyers. Obviously, Joe Hale's reporting the Flyers are playing at 1:00 on Saturday. I have not verified that. I anticipate them playing on Saturday. I just don't know when time it will be. And yes, to clear the ice, we'll be back for the playoffs. And yes, the schedule is done for what I think the schedule will be until I actually see it. So we'll get that out as soon as it becomes official. But next up for the Phillies will be on Friday night, and it'll be the Atlanta Braves coming into town. And Big Al will have you. He's going to actually do his little twofer thing that he does on Fridays with the Philly Friday Frenzy show, and then he's going to blend that into a post game. So make sure you are checking that out, and I will give you do I even have it on here? Yes, I do. There it is. The Fightins final for the Braves series. Again, Big Al will have you on a standalone, well, not a standalone, but like a twofer show on Friday night, but obviously he's going to host it. So he gets host building there. I will be coming at you over the weekend, doing Saturday and Sunday. So the process of elimination, you can already figure out who is going to be on Clear the Ice, just so you know. I'm not going to say any names, but just through the process of this elimination factor here, I think you can pretty much who's getting game 1 of the playoffs. But I'll be back Saturday and Sunday for the Fightins final, as Big Al will have you Friday. So make sure you're tuned in, because it can't get much worse, can it? I'm not bothering with this. I'm not going around the bases tonight. I've been droning on here for about an hour. Let's look at some of the potential matchups for this Braves series coming up starting on Friday. The Braves have not announced a starter for Friday. Taijuan Walker is being announced as a starter for the Phillies on Friday. Saturday, it will be Chris Sale against Christopher Sanchez. And then on Sunday, you're looking at Grant Holmes against Andrew Painter. So there's your tentative starters for the Braves series. Again, Taijuan Walker is going up against undecided. So that means the Phillies are going to get no hit. They always get no hit against undecided. But yeah, so we'll be back on Friday night with the Fightins final and the Philly Friday Frenzy. As I said, it's the twofer on Friday nights with Big Al. And then I'll have you over the weekend with the Fightins final. And also at some point this weekend, we expect Clear the Ice to return for game 1, at least game 1. I don't think there'll be a game 2 until Monday, but game 1 on Saturday. And that's what I think. Until then, guys, keep a stiff upper lip, man. It can't go on much longer. Change has to happen, and I want to thank you guys for being part of this tonight. Hope I was able to maybe make your day feel a little bit better. I will see you guys tomorrow night, actually, on the final word with Matty B. So, guys, have a great rest of your Wednesday. See ya.